this photograph that appears to show a partially submerged object in the water, though it's not clear.
Along the coast, 42 bodies in 12 months, some just skeletons.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What? Dude! Whoa!
Deep below the wide ocean surface, many secrets await finding. Some surprising discoveries have amazed people all over the world. What kinds of mysteries are hidden in the deep sea? What strange and scary things have been found there? Join us as we explore 15 shocking discoveries made under the sea. Number 15. North Korean Ghost Town. The north coast of Japan, a place of tranquility, witnessed something truly strange. Fishing boats carrying the remains of deceased North Koreans. These boats had journeyed over 1,000 kilometers from their homeland, landing on foreign shores. But the year 2017 took it up another level. Over 100 boats reached Japan, bearing 35 lifeless bodies, a sharp rise from the previous year's 66 vessels. The question hung heavy. Why did these ghost ships suddenly swarm Japan? A Japanese Coast Guard guessed it might be the weather. Others whispered that North Korea's aging fishing fleet could be at fault. Now let's rewind to 2011 when this just began. On Japan's shores, fishermen stumbled upon a drifting vessel, abandoned and drifting at the mercy of the waves. Drawing near, the truth revealed itself. It was a relic from North Korea, a ghost ship. These haunting vessels, remnants of North Korea's struggles, often drift without souls, revealing a dark tale of escape attempts or lost fishermen. Inside the ghost ship, they found things like fishing gear, personal belongings, and, tragically, sometimes, human remains. 2 bodies were discovered nearby, their stories left untold, victims of unforgiving seas. These ghost ships' saga has recently surged, echoing life in North Korea. They also reflect the desperation and desire for a better life, revealing the harsh reality within the secretive nation. Number 14. Giant Squid. In a world where mysteries have grown scarce, a few remain that continue to surprise us. As we've explored and tamed the once-feared corners of our planet, some creatures still seem like the stuff of legends. One such is the giant squid, known scientifically as Archaeoteuthis dux. In 2005, marine biologists Tsunemi Kubodera and Kyoichi Mori shared the world's first underwater photographs of a live giant squid in its natural habitat. What was once considered a passive deep-sea wanderer was a swift and cunning predator. These images portrayed the giant squid aggressively attacking baited lines, erasing the notion of a passive trickster. Fast forward to 2006, scientists from the National Science Museum of Japan captured live footage of a giant squid beside their boat. These giant squids were not the ship-sinking, human-hunting monsters of folklore, but they were formidable predators in an alien world shrouded in darkness. Luckily for us, a covert camera system gave us the first motion video glimpsing the giant squid off Japan's coast in 2012, which has continued to amaze us. It captured footage of the deep-sea squid species. With 8 arms and 2 long feeder tentacles, armed with sharp-toothed suckers, reaching out over 30 feet to seize prey like fish, jellyfish, squid, and even whales. Number 13. World War II plane. There's a special story about an old plane and a brave pilot in the pages of history. The P-39 Airacobra, a plane made by Bell Aircraft in New York during World War II. More than 5,000 planes were sent to help the Soviet Air Force. They were strong planes armed with big guns. But one plane, P-39Q No. 442911, met a sad end in 1944. A young pilot named Lieutenant Ivan Ivanovich Baranovsky was flying this plane. He had an important mission to a place near Norway. However, the plane's engine suddenly stopped working. Baranovsky had to make an emergency landing on a frozen lake called Martjavor. Sadly, he didn't survive. Many years later, in 2004, a fisherman saw something strange underwater in Martjavor Lake. He told an expert named Jim Pierce, who was looking for old planes. With hard work, Pierce's team brought the plane up from the lake. They found clues about Baranovsky's bravery, his remains, 2 medals, and a logbook. The logbook had stories of Baranovsky flying on 90 missions and winning 7 battles. He became a hero in the Soviet Union. Number 12. The Meg's Tooth. In ancient times, huge sharks roamed the oceans. One of these was the megalodon, a massive predator that lived about 2.6 million years ago. Think of a shark as long as a big bus and as heavy as a bunch of elephants together. These creatures had teeth that matched their size, and one of them in particular is a record breaker. Megalodon means big tooth, and their teeth were gigantic. They could be as long as 7 inches, much bigger than the teeth of today's great white sharks, which are only a few inches long. Imagine comparing a toy to something from a giant's collection. Now let's hear about an incredible discovery made by a fisherman. This fisherman was looking for oysters in the Chesapeake Bay in Maryland when he found something amazing: an ancient megalodon tooth. Picture his surprise when he realized the tooth was as big as his hand. The fisherman, Stephen Rollins, was stunned as the tooth appeared from a pile of oysters. His wife, Bambi, was just as amazed when she saw how huge the tooth was. This tooth is a real treasure, measuring 5.5 inches by 3.5 inches. It's like a window into the past, showing us what these enormous sharks were like. The tooth is very old, maybe as many as 8 million years. Scientists believe it came from the side of a megalodon's jaw. How cool is that? Number 11. Underwater UFOs. Imagine diving deep into the cold waters of the Gulf of Bothnia and stumbling upon a huge mystery. In 2011, underwater explorers did just that. They found a massive thing hidden beneath the waves. This strange object, known as the Baltic Sea anomaly, is like nothing we've seen before, leaving scientists scratching their heads. This mysterious discovery is about the size of a football field, with a weird, even bigger disk. Some people call it the Baltic Sea Mystery or the Baltic Sea Mystery Object. It's like a big mushroom about 10-13 feet from the ocean floor. The top of the object looks like it's got lines and boxes drawn on it, and there are strange cracks filled with dark stuff. People even say it's like a huge stone, a doorway to another world, or maybe even an underwater Stonehenge. It is even more fascinating because it's not just the puzzling shape. It's also the fact that nobody knows why it's there. It's like finding a big puzzle piece without knowing what picture it belongs to. This thing is about 91 meters deep in the water and is round, with a size of about 18 meters. And get this, it's tall, at least 13 meters high. Some clever people think it might be a UFO, one of those unidentified flying objects you see in movies. People who explore this stuff also found some flat parts stretching around 300 meters from the object. And here's where it gets weird. When people try to use electronic gadgets like sonar or phones close to it, they go all wonky. It's like the object has some magic that messes with technology. From the sky, it looks like the spaceship from Star Wars, the Millennium Falcon. Cool, huh? People have all sorts of ideas about what this thing could be. Maybe it's part of an old ship or a special stone left behind by ancient people, but no one can explain why electronic stuff acts up around it. So this underwater riddle keeps us guessing, reminding us that we still don't know what's hiding beneath the waves. Number 10. Giant oarfish. Los Yuyales in Peru is a quiet coastal village where the gentle waves meet the shore, offering a serene backdrop for daily life. Now, consider the shock rippled through the entire village when an extraordinary sea creature, stretching about 18 feet long, appeared in the shallow waters. The villagers stood in awe, faced with a creature unlike any they had seen before, a truly rare encounter that sparked both their curiosity and concern. But what if this remarkable event held a deeper significance? Could these unusual sea creatures be more than just a curiosity? Over the years, a funny pattern has emerged. The appearance of these big fishes seems to coincide with seismic activity, earthquakes that shake the very foundations of the earth. In Japan, a land with several ancient beliefs and folklore, these creatures bear a mystical name: messengers from the sea god's palace. This idea adds an air of mystery to their already captivating presence. The correlation becomes even more intriguing when we explore historical records. Before the catastrophic earthquake and tsunami that struck Japan in 2011, these creatures washed up on the shores as if nature sent a forewarning. The puzzle deepens further. During the potent earthquake that shook Chile in 2010, these sea creatures resurfaced in the waters off Japan. Then this one was discovered just 24 hours before a very powerful earthquake of 7.2 magnitude hit Mexico on February 16, 2018. Is it a coincidence, or is there a profound connection between these deep-sea inhabitants and the seismic shifts shaping our world? Well, Kiyoshi Watatsumi, a specialist in ecological seismology, provides valuable insight. He explains that deep-sea fish, living close to the ocean floor, appear to possess an extraordinary sensitivity to the subtle movements of the Earth's crust. It's as if these creatures are attuned to the planet's inner workings, sensing disturbances long before humans can. Number 9. 11,000 years old Mining Cave. In 2017, Breva de Vers explored the hidden caves under Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. They swam nearly half a mile through the cave's twists and turns until they reached a narrow opening, only 28 inches wide. This passage led them to a special place. What they found inside was like stepping back in time. There was a mining site where people extracted red ochre pigments 11,000 years ago. These pigments were used for many things, like painting caves, rituals, and even protecting skin from the sun. Archaeologist Brandy McDonald was amazed by what they found. She said, "Seeing it preserved like this was incredible. This discovery tells us about people's lives long before the ancient Maya civilization. One person, Naya, lived around 13,000 years ago. She fell into another cave nearby. Other ancient remains were also found in the underwater caves, filled with water over 8,000 years ago. Scientists are still figuring out why people went deep into these dark caves. Were they burying their dead or looking for water? One big mystery is how things found in the cave were over half a mile from the entrance. They didn't have advanced diving gear back then like we do now. So how did they get so deep? Number 8. Giant tuna fish. The gigantic bluefin tuna is a big deal in Japanese culture, especially for sushi lovers. People love its tasty, fatty meat, and that's why it's expensive in fancy restaurants and sushi places worldwide. Just recently, something amazing happened off the coast of Pembrokeshire, Wales. A fisherman named Simon Beatty caught a massive fish that weighed a mind-blowing 900 pounds, 408 kilograms. Can you imagine that? It was also about 9 feet long, around 2.82 meters. They say it's the biggest fish ever caught in Welsh waters. Simon Beatty, along with his friend Jason Knott and skipper Andrew Alsop, had to put up a real fight for a whole hour to catch this incredible fish. They were out in the Celtic Deeps, about 30 miles away from the West Wales coast in the Irish Sea. After the tough battle, they measured the fish from its nose to its tail and used a special formula to determine its weight. Number 7. Mammoth's bone. Once upon a time, during the chilly days of the Ice Age, woolly mammoths roamed lands that are now underwater, buried beneath the North Sea between England and Holland. These gigantic creatures roamed long ago, and archaeologists have recently found something truly amazing from that distant era: an entire mammoth skeleton. Deep below the sea's surface, about 30 meters down, archaeologists and paleontologists from the Netherlands' North Sea fossils have been on a remarkable journey. They've managed to piece together a massive mammoth skeleton, standing an impressive 3.4 meters tall. This ancient mammoth, who once called the North Sea area home, has been dated back 40,000 years. It's like a magical window opening into a time when these incredible creatures roamed the earth. The adventure began with discovering a skull and tusks in 2012. But that was only the beginning. The team embarked on a journey to find more, collecting fossils from North Sea fishermen and even going on their expeditions. The result? A complete mammoth skeleton, including the precious skull and tusks, is an achievement that is very rare in paleontology. Yet, the mammoth isn't the sole star of the show. Alongside this ancient giant, the team unveiled bones from woolly rhinos, Irish elks, and the skull of a prehistoric European bison. These ancient remains weave stories of a world quite different from what we know today. Number 6. Huge ambergris discovered. Imagine taking a calm walk by the beach with your dog, and suddenly, your furry friend sniffs out something interesting. That happened to Ken Willman and his dog, Madge, on a beach in Morecambe, Lancashire. They found a 6-pound yellowish rock that turned out to be whale vomit. You might wonder, what's special about whale vomit? Well, this substance, called ambergris, is not normal vomit. It forms in the bellies of big sperm whales, and after some time, it comes out into the sea, where sunlight and salt water change into a solid grayish-brown thing with a unique smell. But here's the thing. Ambergris is not just any kind of sea stuff. People have liked it for a very long time because it smells nice. This interesting thing has even been used to make perfumes smell better and last longer. Ken Willman's find, which could be worth a lot of money, around $100,000, got much attention. Imagine finding something that smells weird and then discovering it might be like finding a bag of money. Ken looked online and saw that what he found wasn't just a smelly rock. It could be something really valuable called ambergris. Someone in France offered to give Ken $43,000 for it, but experts say it might even be worth twice as much. Ken, who isn't working because he had a motorcycle accident, felt like he had won a big prize. It's like walking on the beach and finding a bag of $50,000 in cash, he said. Ken planned to send a little piece of the rock to experts in France to make sure it was real. If they say it is, it could change his life. Who would have thought that a beach walk with a curious dog could lead to such a surprising and maybe really valuable thing? Number 5. Nuclear graveyard. During the Cold War, the USA and the Soviet Union made secret submarines with nuclear power. These were like hidden weapons underwater, ready to strike back if things went bad on land. Close to Norway, the Arctic port of Murmansk was the Soviet base for their nuclear navy and icebreakers. But underneath this icy surface, there was a dangerous secret. In the Kara Sea, a cold and empty place, the Soviets threw away tons of dangerous nuclear waste. This waste was even worse than what was released in Hiroshima during World War II. They dumped it into the ocean, creating a kind of graveyard. Old reactors and even a broken submarine were abandoned because it was too risky and costly. Nowadays, the consequences of those choices are really scary. There's a possibility that the old submarine reactor, powered by ocean water, could start working again. This would be extremely dangerous, releasing radioactivity into the air. It could hurt sea creatures, ruin fishing spots, and pollute the area where they explore for oil. Russia is trying to fix this problem by taking out dangerous reactor parts like the K-27 and K-159 submarines. This is a huge task that might cost about $330 million. But they don't have the right ship yet and need to build it. They're starting this in 2021 and might be ready by 2026. Russia is in a big hurry to fix this problem and stop it from becoming a disaster like Chernobyl. They're trying hard to make things right in the deep, cold sea so that we can learn from their mistakes and keep our oceans safe. Number 4. Atlit Yam. You might not know about it, but deep in the Mediterranean Sea near Israel's coast lies a hidden treasure called Atlit Yam. This underwater city is not only ancient, but also massive. This place dates back to the 7th millennium BC, and it's still waiting to tell its stories. Atlit Yam holds a unique mystery, a stone circle that was built way back in prehistoric times. And guess what? This circle is still there, surviving through the ages. This circle isn't the only secret Atlit Yam keeps. Beneath the sea, dozens of human bones rest peacefully in their tombs. How? The sandy bottom of the sea has shielded them all these years. This underwater city isn't just a small spot. It's huge. Imagine an area as big as 40,000 square meters, lying beneath 8 to 12 meters of water. Marine archaeologist Ehud Galili discovered this incredible site in 1984. Since then, they've found many things that tell the tales of the past. They found the remains of houses, water wells built from stone, long walls that seem to be going in all directions, special places for rituals, pathways made of stones, and even a big structure made of huge stones. And that's not all. They've also unearthed thousands of things like animal bones, human remains, and tools from stone, bone, wood, and flint. One of the most fascinating things in Atlit Yam is a group of 7 massive stones arranged in a semicircle. These stones, surrounding a freshwater spring, were placed there so long ago. There are also 3 oval stones, each with special carvings, forming shapes that look like people. And then a stone well goes deep into the ground, 5.5 meters deep. They found many things down there, like animal bones and tools, suggesting that people used them to throw things away. Number 3. Apollo Moon rocket engines. In a remarkable journey led by Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon.com, a private expedition set out on a mission like no other. Their goal? To recover the engines that once powered NASA's Saturn V rockets, the rockets that carried Apollo missions to the Moon and Earth's orbit during the late 1960s and early 1970s. These engines, known as F-1 engines, had a unique tale to tell, and Bezos was determined to bring them back from the depths of the Atlantic Ocean. Back in the day, when Apollo missions were launching humans to the Moon and orbiting the Earth, the F-1 engines played a crucial role in propelling the boosters. After serving their purpose, 5 of these engines found themselves discarded in the Atlantic Ocean, seemingly destined to remain lost forever. However, Jeff Bezos and his team were not content with this fate. Using advanced deep-sea sonar technology, they embarked on a daring adventure to locate and salvage these historic engines. And lo and behold, in 2012, their efforts paid off. The engines were discovered, a treasure trove from the 1969 Apollo 11 mission, the iconic mission that marked humanity's first steps on the Moon. Over the following 2 years, these engines underwent a meticulous restoration process, reviving them to their former glory. Now, these revitalized parts find their place of honor at the Museum of Flight in Seattle, where they serve as a testament to human ingenuity and ambition. The motivation behind Jeff Bezos' substantial financial contribution to this project remains a mystery, yet it's widely understood that he did so simply because he could. But the significance of this venture goes beyond the engines themselves. This discovery shattered the belief that these engines were lost to the sea forever, showcasing the power of determination and modern technology to rewrite history. Number 2. The RMS Republic. In the early 1900s, a grand and supposedly unsinkable ship, part of the White Star Line fleet, suffered a tragic fate. This time, it wasn't the Titanic, but its luxurious counterpart, the RMS Republic. The ship's ill-fated journey ended tragically in a collision with another vessel, sending shockwaves across the seas and leaving a story shrouded in mystery. This majestic vessel, considered one of the jewels of its era, met its untimely end some 50 miles off the coast of Nantucket. Despite the tragedy, a silver lining emerged from the chaos. The passengers' lives were miraculously saved, all thanks to a revolutionary technology, wireless telegraph. This unexpected twist of fate marked the world's first live mass media event, capturing the imagination of people everywhere. However, while the passengers were fortunate, the same could not be said for the ship's cargo. The RMS Republic's belly held countless treasures, but they weren't destined to see the light of day again. The collision claimed the ship and all the baggage and cargo it carried, leaving a fortune buried beneath the waves. Amid the whispers of lost riches worth a staggering $1 billion, a figure emerged from the shadows in 1987. Martin Bayerl, a treasure hunter undeterred by the challenges of the deep. With a bold plan and unwavering determination, Bayerl set out on a daring mission to uncover the hidden wealth within the wreck. The endeavor came with a hefty price tag of over $2.5 million. Sadly, the outcome didn't match the grandeur of the undertaking. The depths of the sea yielded only fragments of what was once opulence: plates, bottles of wine, and even a humble toilet. The elusive treasure remained missing, slipping through Bayerl's grasp. Number 1, Locomotive Graveyard. Back in 1985, not one, but two very rare train models, called Planet Class 222T, were found sitting at the bottom of the sea. These special trains, dating back to the 1850s, were thought to have been lost during a storm around 5 miles off the coast of Long Branch in New Jersey. They were on a journey from Boston to the mid-Atlantic, but things didn't go as planned. Some experts think these trains either fell off the ship carrying them or were deliberately pushed into the water to prevent the ship from sinking in rough waters. Despite being covered in rust from spending 160 years underwater, these trains still look pretty good. Just imagine how amazing it would be to picture them down there, almost like they're racing to the ocean floor. The man that stumbled upon these trains was named Paul Hepler. He was exploring the ocean's secrets using a device that could find metal things underwater. 1985. This device beeped unusually, indicating that something big and metal was down there. At first, Paul didn't know what it was, but he decided to dive down and see. And guess what? He found these massive metal objects that turned out to be old locomotives. That would be all for today's 15 most terrifying discoveries made at sea that shock the whole world. Subscribe to our channel for more exciting and informative content like this, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks again for watching.